Yo guys, it's your boy Hybrid Hit Squad back again with another episode of this like football commentary style video. The last one we did was about England in the Euros, and the one before that was reacting to Roy Keane's starting 11. This one's going to be a bit different to those two. It's going to be about a club, particularly about a signing that a club had made. It's going to be about how Jack Grealish can fit in at Man City and what that starting 11 looks like now that Jack Grealish is at Man City and is signed for a British record fee of £100 million. So as you'll be able to see on the screen right now, the starting 11 I had picked for Man City. So in goal, we'd kept Edison. I think that's pretty much a no-brainer. Edison, comfortably one of the best keepers in the world, and would be starting for Brazil, obviously, if it wasn't for Alisson. But Brazil, luckily for Brazil, but unluckily for Edison, are blessed with two of the best keepers of a generation, I believe. Up there with the likes of Donnarumma, etc. Yeah, Donnarumma, maybe De Gea at a point, but yeah. Then at left back, it would be, for me, it would be Zinchenko. I think he's nearly perfected that role that an inverted left back would have for under Pep Guardiola, where he can slot into the midfield, because originally he is, of course, a midfielder, but him coming from left back, being able to slot into the midfield and accompany Rodri in that deep line position, but also being able to actually play a traditional left back as well. Then I would have at left centre back, I would have Ruben Diaz. Great signing for Man City, a great defender who's really come in and tightened up the defence that needed tightening up and organising. He's done a really good job since he's come in, and he's really kind of warranting the fee. Well, yeah, I'd say he's warranting the fee because he came in and City won the league. Not solely because of him, but I'm not going to pretend like he didn't have a significant part to play. The next to him, I would have John Stones. So it would be the centre-back partnership that won Man City the league last season. I think both of them are at a nice age for defenders where there should, external factors and injuries beside, only get better from this position, where they haven't been playing together for years, so they've still got that chemistry to build on. They're both really good on the ball, physically able to hold their own, both in terms of pace and strength. So yeah, I would go with Diaz and Stones. Obviously Stones had a really good Euros as well, performed really well for England, made it all the way to the finals, of course. And then at right back, I would have Kyle Walker, another no-brainer. I know he's getting on a bit, but he showed in the Euros he's still got legs for days, and the pace is not going anywhere anytime soon. But I definitely think that's a position where Man City should be looking to improve on. But if it's not broken, don't fix it. Argument could still be had for Jack Grealish as well. If it's not broken, don't fix it. But we'll get onto Jack Grealish in due time. Then we've got in defensive midfield Rodri. I think Fernandinho could still continue doing a job there in that position. He's similar to Zinchenko. He's pretty much mastered what a defensive midfielder needs to be under Pep Guardiola at this point. Good on the ball, solid passing accuracy, able to recycle the ball easily, knows his way around the pitch, knows his way around a foul, more especially, able to break up the play when it needs to be broken up, and able to provide that defensive cover that is sometimes necessary when you're playing such attacking football. Sometimes you need a defensive midfielder, like Fernandinho, like Rodri, to be almost an enabler. And Rodri's developed that over the past 2 seasons he's been at Man City now. 1 or 2 seasons he's been there, but since he's joined, he's only gotten better. He had a rough start, which I think we kind of predicted, with the pace and the physicality of the Premier League. If you're not ready for it, can really hit you like a ton of bricks. But he's shown he's able to adapt, and he has adapted. And he's a key part of this Man City midfield now. And being a key part of this Man City midfield when this team is playing at such a high level, week in and week out in all competitions, it's a real achievement. And Rodri should be happy with himself that he was able to come in and take that place from Fernandinho. So yeah, I'd go Rodri at defensive mid. And then the 2 midfielders ahead of him. Here we go. I would have Gundogan and De Bruyne ahead of him. Right. Gundogan, I believe, is a top box-to-box midfielder. Legs for days. Can get up and down the pitch. Similar to Rodri, able to provide defensive cover. When necessary, can act as an enabler, defensive mid. Doesn't need to because they've got Rodri there. His offensive contributions, especially in the Champions League we saw last season, he's able to chip in with a goal. And this Man City team, without Aguero, could potentially be needing some more goals from midfield. Man City have never struggled from goals from midfield. With the wingers they've got, De Bruyne, of course, Foden, the other midfielders they've had, David Silva in the past, Torre in the past. But yeah, I'm going to go with Gundogan and De Bruyne. De Bruyne, of course, the best player in the league, in my opinion. Similar to some of the players I mentioned before, no-brainer, really. I think De Bruyne definitely has to be starting. You know, he's the best player in the league. Better than... I know you can give me whoever you want to give me, but I'm going to say De Bruyne is better than him. I'm going to say he's better than Grealish, he's better than Kane, he's better than Fernandes even. He's a top player, top player, De Bruyne, and he'll be playing there. So the team so far, we've got Edison in goal, Zinchenko, Diaz, Stones, Walker, Rodri in defensive mid, Gundogan and De Bruyne in midfield three. Now we go on to the front three, rather. I'm putting Grealish left wing. Yeah, I'm putting Grealish left wing. That's where he plays for Aston Villa. That's where he has been playing for the past couple of years. Been doing really good off that. Being able to cut in, provide those midfield overloads. Those overloads in those key attacking positions that Pep Guardiola loves. And I think, as a manager, if I'm Pep, I would rather Grealish cut in from the left than Sterling cut in from the left. Grealish is better on the ball. I know his numbers suggest that, you know, over 200 progressive carries last season, 168 progressive passes last season, 110 fouls won. That's insane. And when you've got great kickers of the ball, like your De Bruyne's, like your Grealish's, when you're winning those free kicks in those key positions, it's essential. Because maybe you can score from those positions, maybe you can get a cross in, and then lead into a goal. It's absolutely crucial. Then you've got 10 assists and 6 goals. And for a Man City player, those numbers, for an attacking Man City player, those numbers aren't spectacular. But a team like Aston Villa, where he's carrying them, if we're honest, he's been carrying them. Those numbers are quite spectacular to be getting in the Premier League. And I suppose the basketball equivalent would be how Kevin Durant was able to carry the Brooklyn Nets despite the injuries of James Harden and Kyrie Irving. He was able to carry them to the playoffs, and unfortunately wasn't able to take them deeper into it. But just like Grealish with Villa, he probably feels he's taken them as far as he could go at that point, and it's time for Grealish to move on. And he's moved on to the best team in the league, one of the best teams in the world. So yeah, I'm putting Grealish left wing. And as you can see, I've put Sterling right wing. So I've dropped Mahrez and Ferran Torres. Sterling's best football came that season when City done the 100 points. Sane left wing, Sterling right wing. Sterling played his best football of his career when he was on the right wing for City. Because he's able to stretch the pitch, stretch the defence, push forward, cause so many problems. He's somewhat tricky on the ball, but blistering fast. Absolutely blistering fast, whichever side he's on. But when he's on the left, he's forced to cut in. And he's not like Grealish, where he's super slick, where he can beat one or two players, cut in and beat one or two players. A lot of the time, unfortunately, when Sterling's cutting in, from the eye test, I'm going off. I mean, I don't watch every City game, I don't watch every England game, but especially in the Euros, when I see him cutting, he was losing the ball a lot. Don't get it twisted. Sterling was 100% one of our best players in the Euros, and he's even now one of City's best players, even though the poor season he had last season. I think, like I said, his best football is played on the right. I'm putting him back there. I'm putting Sterling back on the right. Then up front, this I suppose still is the major issue for Man City. We've got Gabriel Jesus up front, which isolated isn't a terrible option to have a striker. Of course, you know, he's been in the league for how long has it been now? 4 years, probably 3-4 years. He's been in the league for Man City and has done pretty well. He's done, yeah, I'm gonna say he's done pretty well when he's played for Man City. Never been able to consistently take that number 9 spot from Aguero though. He's now been given it. So this is really, it's really a sink or swim for Gabriel Jesus. He needs to impress. He needs a big season, or else City are going to regret not getting Harry Kane. Unless, of course, we've still got weeks to go in the transfer window. Maybe they do end up getting Harry Kane, which would be a smart move, ultimately, because they need a striker, and who better? Haaland potentially, but at this point, Kane is the better player. Man City, they don't need to play the long game. They've got money, so that really isn't an issue for them. However, just thinking smart business, they probably should go for a Haaland over a Kane. But Man City are definitely in a position where they could buy Kane, wait till he's ready to go or retire, and then get Haaland as well. You know, Man City, we know, aren't pressed for money. But yeah, I think that is really their main weakness up front, and when they've got Gabriel Jesus. But where they've got goals, Grealish scored how many goals? 6 goals for Villa last season, playing left wing. He could easily get double that this season because he's playing with a team that's so much better than Aston Villa's. He could easily get double that like this season. Sterling had a great season from goal contributions when he last played on the right wing. I don't have the numbers on me right now, but I know he contributed with loads of goals, loads of assists. De Bruyne, always a goal threat. Gundogan, always a goal threat. And Gabriel Jesus won't completely flop. He will have a handful of goals in there himself. It's looking bright for Man City. Next season's a real big season for them because they've spent a record fee for Jack Grealish. The pressure is on. In addition to the thousands and thousands of pounds in wages they're spending weekly on him, the pressure is on for Grealish to perform. And the pressure is on for Man City to perform as a team. Pep Guardiola has spent, in his whole managerial career, just under 920 million with this, including the signing of Jack Grealish. He hasn't delivered a Champions League in about 10 years. That needs to come soon. I mean, that needs to come real soon because he's got the team. Yeah, super big season for Man City. It'll be interesting to see what they do in the league and the Champions League. They should be expecting to compete on all fronts for every competition. The league should be not in the bag. You know, there's some good teams out there, but you just spent 100 million on Grealish. You know, some teams don't even spend 100 million this whole season, let alone on one player. So they should be looking up there to be storming the league. And they got to the Champions League final last season. They should be looking to do that this season, winning that at least. But yeah, like I said, it's going to be a big season for Man City. Should be an exciting one. It's been your boy Highbury Hit Squad. I hope you like the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends if you think they'll mess with it. Peace, I'm out.